Welcome to Rise Anyway, a space where we explore what it means to rebuild, to grow, and to start again. I'm Guy Christ. Every episode is a quiet reminder that no matter how far you've fallen, you can always rise anyway. Rise Anyway, Ep.7 Oprah Winfrey. From poverty and abuse to a voice that moved the world, you can picture the red dirt roads and the tin roof heat of rural Mississippi. A little girl, barely big enough to lift a bucket, walks barefoot from the well to a small wooden house. Her name is Oprah Gail Winfrey, born in 1954 in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Back then, her grandmother sewed dresses from potato sacks and taught her the value of hard work and scripture. By age 3, Oprah was already standing in church pews, reciting Bible verses with a voice that could quiet a room. But beneath that voice was a silence, the kind you learn when life teaches you that speaking can be dangerous. When she moved north to live with her mother in Milwaukee, the promise of safety broke apart. Poverty followed, and between the ages of 9 and 14, Oprah endured the unthinkable, repeated abuse by people she should have been able to trust. At 13, she ran away. At 14, she became pregnant. Her baby boy, whom she later named Canaan, meaning new land, new life, died shortly after birth. It was a heartbreak that nearly ended her story before it began. Then came a turning point, a man named Vernon Winfrey. Strict, steady, and unrelenting in his belief that discipline could save her. "You can't bring C's into this house," he told her. "You are an A student," and for the first time, someone's words built her instead of breaking her. Under his roof, Oprah flourished. She joined the speech team, devoured books, and discovered that words weren't just her escape, they were her gift. At 17, a small accident of fate opened the first door. A local radio station held a pageant. Oprah entered, and when she spoke, they hired her on the spot. By 19, she was reading the evening news on television, the youngest and one of the first black women in that role. But the objectivity of news didn't fit her heart. She didn't want to just report stories. She wanted to understand them. In 1984, Chicago came calling. A struggling morning show called AM Chicago needed a new host. Within months, it went from last place to first. And soon after, The Oprah Winfrey Show was born. But what made it revolutionary wasn't just the ratings. It was the honesty. Oprah didn't just talk to guests. She listened. She made empathy a form of journalism. She tackled subjects most networks avoided: childhood abuse, grief, forgiveness, faith. And millions of viewers saw themselves reflected on her stage for the first time. She often said, "Speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have," as she lived that truth out loud, using her own story to heal others. Each time she cried on camera, she was breaking the silence for someone else who couldn't. Oprah turned pain into purpose and shame into strength. She built Harpo Productions, launched the Oprah magazine, and eventually her own network, OWN. But behind the empire was a philosophy: turn your wounds into wisdom. In 2007, she founded the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, a $40 million investment in the kind of hope that changes generations. To the girls there, she said, "No matter where you come from, your story is still being written, and you have the pen." In 2018, standing before a global audience at the Golden Globes, she honored the women who had spoken out against abuse and injustice, saying, "What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have." The crowd rose. But her message wasn't applause. It was a passing of the torch. Her voice had become a movement. Today, Oprah Winfrey is more than a name. She is a mirror of what's possible when resilience meets grace. Her journey says, you don't need a perfect past to create a powerful future. You just need to tell the truth about where you've been and keep walking forward. Oprah's story doesn't say that suffering is necessary for greatness. It says something harder and more hopeful. When suffering happens, you can decide what to make of it. You can make a show, a school, a sentence that someone else needs to hear. You can make wisdom out of wounds, and you can hand that wisdom back to the world that once tried to break you. Thanks for listening to Rise Anyway. If today's story moved you, share it with someone who might need a reason to keep going. You can follow the show for new reflections every week, and remember, You can't change the past, but you can always change the path you're on.